Hi, all, and welcome to Monday Night's Treasure Vortex with Gypsy Jules from YouTube's Zero Discrimination, as well as GypsyDigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. Tonight's special guest is Ken Cunliffe, and we're actually, instead of Gypsy and I going back and forth, we're going to bring him right on in. So, welcome to the show, Ken.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so our main thing is we like to get to know our guests better, and since really we hadn't ever really talked in person, except for right before the show, so Amanda and I were trying to get to know Ken just a little bit better, but now let's jump right in for our audience. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from? And we'll
yeah, sure. I'm Ken. I'm from Mount Wolf, Pennsylvania, which is about 40 minutes from Harrisburg. I've been detecting since 2016. Got started with the MindLab 3030 and a Degaz, and now I use a Degaz 200 and a Master Legend.
Awesome. And how long have you been detecting?
I started in 2016. I drag raced for a lot of years, and a lot of the tracks by me closed. So I sold my car, sold my trailer, and looking for another hobby. I don't know how. It was some random YouTube video that I saw. That looks really cool. And I forget which guy. It was somebody who used a 3030. And that's my first detector was a 3030. And I just started from there. And, once I got started, I was like, man, I like this more than racing, which was hard to imagine, but I do. I really do. So much adrenaline when you're digging a plug. You have no idea what's in it. It could be anything, right? And it's almost like Christmas morning every time you dig a hole.
Yeah. You just never know what you're going to come up with.
You really never know. And I guess that's what gets all of us kind of, once you start getting out there and the more you're out there detecting and the more you're, that's a great way to put it. It does get the adrenaline going. And it is like Christmas morning every time.
Yeah, every single one, right? You're like, wow, what's this going to be? And especially when you dig in England, too. Like, England's such a vast range of years. It's addicting. It's like shooting adrenaline right in your veins.
I can only imagine because Amanda and I have not been to England yet, and that's on our list to do and our wish list. And so when did you get a chance to go to England?
So it was weird. I got very fortunate early on. Within the first year of detecting, I'd hooked up with some guys, and we had some really good fields. And the Hoover boys warned them. They called them the Field of Dreams. We could go out and hit 10 coppers in a day, each of us. We'd come home with, 15 to 20 buttons every time we went out in these crazy. And within a year, I had found so much. I found 2 GWs, like all kinds of stuff that if it wasn't for these few fields that we had, because we had other fields that were okay, but 2 or 3 fields in specific, that there was so much stuff coming off those fields that I was just knocking bucket listers off left and right. And it got to a point where there wasn't a whole lot to find that I hadn't already found. Pine tree scent, that would be awesome, right? Haven't found one of those, but that's like one of the few things left on the list that not too much after that. Haven't found silver dollars, but we're talking like I hunt old farm fields almost exclusively. I think I've only hunted 1 park ever and 1 house ever. And everything else besides that has been farm fields. Right? So I probably have 200 or 300 largies, 200 or 300 kgs just from the States. And then, then you're like, all right. So within a year of detecting, I was in England. So from the first time I swung my coil, and I've been there 8 times now, and I'm going back again this September for trip 9.
Oh man! Oh, Amanda and I, we might have to squeeze us in your suitcase next time. No, we've been talking about it so much, and as you learned from your book, which I hate to bring it yet. Well, I know we're getting there, but I've been detecting now for 25 years, and I know Amanda's been detecting a long time. So for us that have been detecting so long, and we have so many friends that have been over there, and friends that live there, that we've met that have come over here to the States, like Digger Dawn. We had
Dawn's
her
awesome.
on not too long ago. She is amazing. She got to come to Texas this last time to the Garrett hunt, and so much fun. She's a hoot. But
now, is the excitement even on the 9th trip? It's still there, like how it was like the first time you were headed over? Do you still get like the flutters and?
Absolutely, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, because it kind of, at least for me, tempers my desire to detect in the States sometimes. Because I go to England in March and September every year, so I do 2 trips a year, and sometimes it's hard to motivate myself to go out detecting in the States. So I almost wish I would have waited a little bit. Yeah, like in England, it could be a Roman silver coin. It could be a hammered coin. It just the complete range of dates that you can dig. Is this going to be a Roman silver? From my oldest coin is from 79 AD, the Titus silver denarius, right? And I remember seeing that, and just the feeling that I had when I saw that, so much emotion, because I wanted one so bad. And when you finally see it in the hole, and that coin's almost 2,000 years old. It's almost 2,000 years old. And it sat there through almost all of known history, written history. Like, it's been in the ground that long. And
that's just thinking about that,
it makes you numb. Yeah, it's really...
Yeah.
But what's fun in the States is detecting with people and the friendships that you have. Now, it's nice to go to England and meet new people. But part of the fun in the U.S. is people that I've hunted with for years now. That's more of it in the U.S. for me, hunting with people that I know. And then in England, it's that whole, chasing that gold Celtic coin, or someday maybe I'll buy one. Maybe.
Well, maybe September.
You will. Yeah.
Yeah.
You will. Man, yeah, I can only imagine what that'll feel like, because just like yesterday, you said that you've only detected at a park, like maybe once
ever. Yeah.
And it's a difference between where you live and Amanda lives, and then I live. And right now, I'm in the city, and if I want a place to go just jump to right then, I have to go to a park, get my fix. So,
yeah.
you know what I mean? To get that, it really is. It's that addiction. So I have to go and see what I can find. And yesterday, Jackie and I got out for a few, and I got 2 really cool finds. And I thought the same thing, like you're sitting there talking, and this is not old for me. I mean, it's not old, but it's old for us here in a big city like this.
Right.
Is a V-nickel where you're talking something Roman or Saxon or, when you go over there, I can only imagine what that must feel like to dig something so old as opposed to, like a V-nickel yesterday hitting the 1800 dates for me.
No, see, V-nickels are awesome. And I'll always be happy with a V-nickel or RG anything. I'm happy with anything, but the chance to find something I haven't found yet, like I found a capped $50, a seated $50, but I haven't found any silver dollars, right? But that's the stuff that's really super, at least for people that have seen, very rarely do I see an 1800 silver dollar. The president of my metal detecting club, Gene, he's in the book. He's got a 1700 silver dollar, which is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right? So, but I've only ever met one person who's dug one, right? And then the pine tree coins. A couple gentlemen in the book, Donnie and another guy, have a pine tree coin. Right? I've only ever seen 2. The people in my book, right? So the few things that I have left, it's probably going to take me a really long time to dig them, and that's why it's like, do I want to?
Well,
yeah,
that's one of the questions. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's one of the questions we like to ask. Amanda, you want to go ahead and ask about that? Those items that we want to find on our list.
I don't. I do see Jason in chat has a question for you though.
Okay.
Have you found any gold or silver spills or hoards across the pond?
I have. I'm involved in a hoard with Tim Saylor and Kurt from the Hoover Boys, Aqua Chigger, Bo, and Jocelyn. So along with, I think Digger Dawn has some from that hoard, and so does Chris Langston. Chris Langston has the bulk of them. So the very first trip I went to England, March of 2018, I couldn't find a tour group that had something open. And I found a new group called Metal Detecting Holidays that had an opening. I was like, I'll take it. I didn't even know what it was. I just took it, right? Find out that Brandon, Dr. Tones, is on that tour. It was something called with a dig with tour, where you get to dig with like a metal detecting celebrity. So that was a pleasant surprise. I found out Brandon was going to be over there. When we got there, Chris, the tour guide, Chris Langston, he was like, hey, Tim, Jocelyn, and Bo found 7 hammered coins on a place we just nicknamed Hammered Hill. I'll take you guys there on the trip. We said, first day, we woke up that it was so cold. There was snow everywhere. That was a really long day. That was not a fun day. But like on day 3, the snow had melted, and we got to this Hammered Hill. We ended up pulling 7 off the hill. Brandon had 5, I had 2. And then right after we left, and it was 14 at that time. So there's 7 from our trip, 7 from the trip before. They called it an official, and it hit all the newspapers. Then I went back when we left. They plowed it right after we left, and then Chris found like 19 more. And I think Dawn was with him. I think she grabbed a couple. So there's 46 total now. I went back in September of 2018, found another one. So there's 46 total. It's the largest hoard in that area from what I heard. And we all donated our coins to a local museum. So they're in a museum over in England.
That's awesome.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, no gold yet. So, the only gold I've ever found is a ring on a farm field. That's the only gold I've ever found.
Was gold ring, gold nugget?
It was just a gold ring. Just a regular, just a gold ring, yeah. Same field I found.